tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to episode 68 of the best horror podcast on 7voltmedia.com and the world. Scream Fiends. I'm your host, Xander, and with me once again is Russ.
Hi.
Oh, you like that?
That was good, Xander.
If you're just joining us for the first time on the show, we talk about all the things going on in the world of horror. And if you're a long-time listener, you know we oftentimes don't follow by any sort of guidelines, rules, or whatever. We have one book and one book to rule them all. But that is all. The most awesome place on earth for horror fans out there. Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you're watching, what you want us to watch. Anything that is good. We like to find new movies. Tell us what you are watching.
Do it.
All that stuff.
I quit.
We are on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, congratulations, you won.
Hey.
Hey.
You got us.
Hey.
You found us. All right. Root beer.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/screamfiends. You can donate if you would like, but you do not have to. All of this content, beautiful, beautiful content,
Oh, beautiful. And
will always be free, but we love your support. So, there are all kinds of nice perks you can get if you donate at multiple different levels.
yeah.
So, think about it.
Buy Chipotle.
Chipotle. Very good Chipotle today.
Today was successful.
Phenomenal. They even offered to double wrap my burrito.
Yeah, they were like, "Do you want another piece of tinfoil?" And you're like, "I'd like another tortilla." And they're like,
Yeah.
"That could be done."
Yeah, and it was awesome.
I mean, it wasn't even like she like the lady just shot a glance down the line, and the dude was like, "Up through her tortilla." It was awesome.
Yep. Did I forget anything?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel semi off my game.
Well, it's because we no longer know this beautiful man, Alex.
I'm a new man.
He's a new man. He is now going by Xander.
Reborn.
He's a born again Xander.
I don't understand. I don't know how to live life as a Xander. I feel like I should be like in the VIP section of the club, like doing some shady deals.
Time out. When's the last time you've been to a club?
Oh God. It's been a while.
I can tell you, for me, it's been about 13 years.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you count as a club.
A place where you go to dance.
Specifically to dance?
Like a dance club.
Oh,
I don't mean like a club to go see a band play. Like you go to a club to see a DJ play songs from the radio and everybody rub their butts on each other.
Does Coyote Ugly count?
I have no idea. Sure. No? What? Isn't that a bar with girls that dance on the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be more like a bar, I guess.
And then they have like a stage. Everyone's dancing around the stage. And
Are they line dancing, though?
No. They're like... So, quick aside.
Yeah.
I went to Las Vegas a few years ago now. Few years. For my brother-in-law's bachelor party. It was like a whole weekend. Like, it was a whole thing.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think it was the first night we were there, we went to Coyote Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, like, not the club-going person.
Yeah, so... Yeah, my
Surprise.
I'm not a club goer either.
But that was actually ended up being a good thing for me.
That you don't go?
No, just because I'm like super kind of awkward. Like
You're totally
I like
weird.
dancing really stupidly and all that shit. Like I don't know how to dance, but whatever. So one of the Coyote Ugly girls who's like dancing on the stage part.
Mm-hmm.
She like pulls me over there, and then like unbuttons my shirt and pours some kind of drink in my mouth from between her legs. And yeah, it is a pretty cool place, I must say. But in any case, so this girl had like caught my attention from across the room, and I don't know, we like made eye contact or something. She noticed me. I obviously had noticed her. And like after that happened, one of her friends came up to me and was like, "Hey, can my friend dance with you?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, am I going to have a problem with this? No. And so she did, and I ended up dating her for like 6 months. She was from Reno. Obviously, that was a very long-distance relationship, but it was cool.
That is cool.
It was a cool story. Like, I think that's the most unique like way of meeting a girl.
Sure.
Like,
that's a pretty cool way to meet a girl.
Yeah.
A girl I liked in college took me to a club, and I came outside dressed up, and I had like.
Did you have Jinkos on?
No, like holy jeans. That were just, I think they're Old Navy jeans.
Yeah.
And like a button up, kind of like what you got on now.
Sure.
Right, and like I think it might have even been like a Nirvana shirt or like a Deftones shirt or something underneath. And I walked out, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't really have club clothes. You know.
And what are club clothes?
But
a lot of places have like stupid dress codes like that.
I got in, and we danced for a bit, and it was fun. It was like, okay, it's neat. I never went back to a club after that. It was the first time I'd ever been to a club, and I never went to a club again. And I don't mind.
No,
Now, so this happened 13 years or 14 years ago, and I've been with my current wife for about 12 years. So I met her like a year after this. So I haven't done much of anything as far as going out and meeting girls in like 12 years. And that's awesome. I'll be honest.
Was your wife a club goer?
No. I met her at a video store because we both liked movies.
Yeah.
I met her at a video store. She didn't really get into horror though. Like, we're going to talk about a movie tonight. And all she says is like, it's just a girl screaming the whole time. It's like, I don't like horror movies because they don't scare me. It's like, well.
Man, that reminds me of Danielle. Old Danielle. Nothing fazed her.
Yeah. I mean, we had her on here, and I guess we showed her like the Monster Squad.
Yeah, okay. We did pick some. We should have showed her Martyrs. She should have been a part of the original versus remake Martyrs.
We should make her sit to like we should tape her to a chair. It's getting real creepy about this. Tape her to a chair, right? And then Brady as well.
Yeah.
Brady would at least appreciate this. Like we could show her these movies, and she'd probably be like, "Well, that wasn't that big of a deal." Yeah. But Brady would be like, "That was nuts,"
Yeah, he would be.
So like Brady would at least get into it, but make her sit through like Martyrs and Solo and like
just the worst cannibal holocaust.
Yep.
I guarantee she would say, "This is so boring. Nothing is happening.
This special effects are so bad."
All right, enough about me. How about you, Russ? What have you been watching, playing, etc., etc., etc.?
Not much, Xander.
Oh yeah.
And I played that game you brought me last week.
Little Nightmares.
That's a really good game. That game's awesome, and it's like it's a scary game, but it's done in a way that anybody could play it.
Yeah, it's got a very like. So I think last week I brought up like. It kind of reminds me of the art style of like a Tim Burton Coraline, which wasn't Tim Burton, but almost this like stop motion.
It's kind of
aesthetic.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, yeah, I like it.
And did you ever play like Limbo or
I played
Inside?
Like the Limbo. I didn't play Inside, but I played the Limbo demo.
Okay.
And I liked it. I just never bought it. But this is better than that. by
Better than Limbo. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Here first, folks.
Yeah, so I played
Better than Limbo.
I played, the Limbo the demo or whatever. You gotta fight that spider off, whatever. That was neat, but this is so much cooler.
Yeah, it's different because you're in like a 3D space. Like you can move towards the background and foreground,
which creates a really cool puzzle aspect.
Yeah.
Like I did this thing where I had to like pull a lever to bring a thing over, and then as it's coming over, I quick shoved the lever the other way, and then ran and jumped on this thing. I'm just like, this is fun. I mean, it's cool, fun platforming, and then it's creepy at the same time. Now, but it's got a couple pop scares, but nothing like. I mean, I don't know. I guess I see pop scares all the time, so I guess I'm a little desensitized to it. So I could see where somebody might be like, "Bleh."
So how far did you get?
About 2.5 levels through. So I'm halfway through the game.
So did you face the long-armed guy?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And the chef?
That's where I'm at. I'm at the chef.
Yeah.
And but I fought the long arm guy, or fought him. I guess you just. But like trying to figure out how to sneak around him and stuff.
Yeah.
And find out that he's got his own little sensory deprivation things going on.
Well, he's like blind or something.
Well, see, it's like different though. His skin looks like it's pulled down from his skull, and he's just wearing a hat on his skull. But like his skin is bunched up here, and he's still got his mouth.
Yeah.
And he's bagging children and putting them on like this hook conveyor belt system, and like. So it's just like I'm excited to get to the end to see what they're doing. To see, I mean, even if it's revealed, say nothing, please. And kind of see what the fuck is this thing I'm in, And so, yeah, I'm excited to get into.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited for like if what I've heard is true, like they're making either a TV series or a movie
on this game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's a TV series. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dear viewer, listener, but
that
pretty
would be
sure
sweet.
There is a comic type adaptation. I don't know if it's like a telling of the game or like a separate story, but there is like a comic available as well.
See, the thing is, like, as far as the movie goes or a TV series, you have to keep that vagueness because that's part of the mystery and part of the tension.
Yeah,
not knowing what's happening,
It's also like, how do you market it, really? Because it's definitely not for kids. I mean, it has that aesthetic, but it's way too dark to be like a kids show. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it working as like a Netflix thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm just kind of like trying to think of like just from what I've played, like how do you turn this into a story?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a whole
like a narrative. How do you put a narrative on this?
Yeah.
Because there's no words, there's nothing, there's no talking.
No.
Everything is very visual. You have some creepy sound cues. Like, is it just going to be a show about a kid running through this like maze of horrors?
Well, I mean, they can give her a voice. They can, I don't know, they can do plenty of stuff to really flesh out the world. As it were.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch those pyramid heads. They're tough.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to just like run them down and grab them?
Well, no, because it's like a puzzle element, which is kind of cool. Like, you don't really see that with collectibles.
Yeah.
Where, so you'll see them in a room, and usually they'll run off.
Yeah.
And then that leads you, makes you think, okay, I have to go into that area. And oftentimes there'll be some sort of hidden element that you have to
like
sort
move
of
to find them kind of thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
Because I've missed a ton of them.
Oh,
just because I thought like they just run, and when they run out of the room, it's just the game telling you where to go next.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of what I assumed.
Yeah. No, I only got like maybe 4 in the entire game.
Okay, because I've caught maybe 2 at this point.
Yeah.
3 maybe.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of those statues you can throw and break. And but yeah, it's really good. I like that. Man, indie games this year.
Oh, phenomenal.
2 of the best games I've played this year have been indie, like short little fucking indie games.
Yeah.
3 of the best games I've played this year have been short indie games.
Which ones?
Hellblade.
Yep.
Is like fucking
strong, very strong contender for game of the year.
Yeah.
For sure, like without question.
Really, like, yes. Senua, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Buy Hellblade.
Buy it. Buy it, yes,
Buy
please.
it.
I would love to see a full release. Like a 10 to 20 hour version of
Oh
that
my
game.
god, like a full on 20-hour
Like adventure kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even though it's like you're not actually like looking, I mean, there's enough exploration within the set pieces that I was entertained.
Yeah.
Kind of looking around, but I want like a Castlevania Lords of Darkness length game.
Oh, that'd
out
be
of that.
amazing.
See,
I wonder though, the fidelity with that game is just remarkable. Like, so I wonder if they can kind of capture that if they had to really expand the world.
Yeah.
If their resources would kind of allow it. But I have a feeling...
Oh, do you mean as far as like the sound cues and all that go?
No, just like the level of detail within the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see how it worked with just kind of a small, contained sort of game. But if you were to expand that to a full, like, 12 to however long hour game, like...
like, part of the creepiness of this is you're going to hell.
Yeah.
And now, when you beat the game, you obviously, you went through hell, so what do you do next? I mean, because, at the end of the game, you get the idea that there's more to this story, but what? Like, where does she go next?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if there's more to that story, just other stories within the world that Senua is a part of.
Yeah, but there's another one coming out, I think this year, where you go to hell called Agony that I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Last thing we saw was E3, I think.
Yeah.
They had a trailer there.
I know that it's supposed to come up before the end of the year, I guess, but
really?
we'll see. But, well, as I was saying, though, the 3 indie games that have been killer this year, Hellblade, Little Nightmares, and Blaster Master Zero. Which I guess is I guess what's funny though, Blaster Master Zero could be considered a full game by 1980 standards, But that game's fucking awesome too.
If only I could find the nerve to turn on my Switch.
Should have never bought that.
What a regretful decision that was. Ugh. But No More Heroes 3.
Yep.
Coming. That makes me feel better about my purchasing the Switch.
Yeah.
Because otherwise...
I find it interesting that Suda, he's got some weird, dedication to Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, no.
Well, he did some PlayStation exclusive stuff.
Well, exclusives, though? Because No More Heroes 1 and 2 came out on the Switch.
I'm trying to think...
I don't think that Lollipop one came out on any.
Lollipop
Nintendo.
Chainsaw.
I don't think that came out on. I think maybe that one.
That was probably 360.
360 and
yeah.
But Nintendo didn't get that one.
What was that? The Damned.
Shadow of the Damned.
Shadow of the Damned.
Yeah, I didn't play that one. I didn't even realize.
I think that was 362. So maybe not. I don't know.
But I like his games. But my favorite one though is Killer 7.
Killer 7.
Did you ever play Killer 7?
Oh, yeah.
That game's fucking awesome.
Back on the original GameCube.
Yep. I think did it get a release on PS2 too? Though,
yeah, it did. Yeah. But that game, just the art style and, the control scheme is terrible, but it fit the game.
It was like a weird, semi-rail shooter.
Yeah.
But, what I loved was that one guy with the grenade. I was just like, "Fuck you!" And I was this thing, and it's like a GameCube, and there's the fuck is being dropped on it.
Yeah.
It's funny because Nintendo has their one game system where it's just it's gratuitous.
Yeah, the Wii had Mad World.
Yep. The Nintendo 64 had Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yep.
So I like that Nintendo gets one game like that every
it seems
generation.
to be probably No More Heroes 3 will be the Switch's one game.
Maybe.
Probably.
But there's good games on the Switch though. Don't let this guy dissuade to.
There's not. There's not.
Zelda's
There's really
excellent.
not. It's not good.
Blaster Master Zero is
It's
so
okay.
good.
But
If you like XCOM and Mario, there's a game that just came out that's awesome.
it looks terrible.
That game is
Anyone
awesome.
that tells you that game looks good is a fucking liar.
The game looks awesome. Looks so much fun. I watched the play.
It doesn't
of it.
look fun.
Yeah, it does.
I guess if you're into those stupid strategy
Listen,
games,
Alex.
Xander's, those Xander comms games. Oh, fucking.
But yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. What else? For me, no, I didn't. No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
How about you?
All right, so might as well talk about this little TV movie called Death Note that was recently released on the old Netflix. Now, in and of itself, it's not terrible, I would say. But, I mean, I haven't read the manga, whatever it is, that it's based on, so I cannot tell you in-depthly, like, the differences. But you can tell that the entire thing was crammed into this hour and some odd minute movie. And it just can't. There's very little time for character development, very little character arcs. And yeah, it's just the coolest element, which I thought was the detective, and his weird, like, raised as an orphan, like this entire group was raised to be like the world's best detectives, and they just kind of glance over it. And I've heard that that's a more like a fuller aspect of the manga, so it sucks that that's like the coolest part of the movie that's just sort of brushed over. Willem Dafoe I thought was good as Ryuk. I don't know. Were you not a big Death Note person?
I watched the first couple episodes of the anime, and I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty neat. The character who plays the main character who gets the Death Note,
yeah,
his face bothers me. It's not not attractive. There's something about him that just like I don't want to watch him.
He reminds me of a little bit of Lance Bass, just a little bit. I don't know, just a little bit.
Bass?
Lance Bass.
I don't know. I just like I can't take him seriously.
But it has, I can't think of her name, but she is the daughter on The Leftovers, and she is.
I see it now.
She's
Lance Bass. I see it.
Yeah. She is the girlfriend to Lance Bass. And like that, her acting isn't as good as on The Leftovers. Have you ever seen The Leftovers? Oh my god, you have HBO? Fucking watch The Leftovers. It is goddamn amazing.
Wait, Lance Bass has a girlfriend?
In Death Note.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who looks like Lance Bass.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought like Lance Bass was. I thought he was gay and trying to go on spaceships.
Yeah. Oh my god. Did you ever see that he formed like another boy band? He wasn't in it, but he was like the mastermind behind it.
Was it Together?
No. But so awful. So awful.
Boy bands are pretty much awful.
They were good back in the day.
I like New Kids on the Block, but
you remember TRL eagerly anticipating that next NSYNC video?
No.
Bye bye bye. Bye bye.
No, that was not what I was looking forward to when I was watching TRL. It was like corn videos or like that, like Schism.
Follow the Leader was number one for so long. It made me so happy.
I know. I was a big corn nerd in high school. I mean, we all make mistakes, but
yeah,
you know.
I had the Red Yankees hat backwards.
Okay. I wasn't that bad, but I did listen. I was that new rap. The only rap I still listen to Deftones. That's the only one I still listen to.
I've never understood how they got lumped in with the new metal rap rock.
I think it's the location.
Sure.
They're both from from California, something near Bakersfield.
Yeah.
But he also did rap with his metal. If 7 Words has got a big rap sequence in it.
Oh, okay.
But if you listen to the first Korn album, there's no rap in that at all. But it was a hip hop influence, I guess. You can kind of get it maybe with the drumming or something. And so I think it is linked together. But Deftones to me, I feel like they branched out with each album. Each album was a slight bit different from the previous one.
They got way more melodically artful.
Yeah. Because it's weird too, because they had a hip hop influence, metal influence, but then I guess the singers, one of his favorite bands was Depeche Mode, so you got a little bit of that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
now it's just now it's just this heavy as fuck soundscape that's beautiful and.
You talking about the newest Deftones shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of cool kind of crazy shit. I still like Deftones a lot. I'm glad I didn't go and see him. I heard that the sound quality at that new stadium for the Minnesota Vikings is shit.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess they just sounded like garbage.
Huh.
But I saw them when they came for the Diamond Eyes tour back 2010, I think. Was that when that was? 2012 maybe when that album came out. I can't remember now. But that was at the First Ave. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, that would be... Well, that was even before First Ave got their new sound system, too, right?
I have no idea. It sounded great.
Yeah.
He could sing like he used to,
Yeah.
That was always kind of a gripe that I've read, that...
Chino?
He doesn't, live, he doesn't do as well. I mean, it's have you heard his albums? How could you do that day in and day out?
Yeah. Well, I remember back in the day, him tearing his vocal cords.
Yeah. Well, this is funny too. They came with Metallica, but a couple years ago I went to go see him, and they came on Metallica's Summer Sanitarium tour. But Chino ended up in the Regions at the hospital for some reason. I can't remember why, but Metallica kind of was talking some shit about them, and apparently it was right around the same time. I guess Chino was mad because he wanted to tour individually, he wanted to headline a tour with Deftones as opposed to being.
Oh, sure.
He thought they were big enough.
Yeah.
To headline their own thing, and so he talked some shit, I guess, and so there was all sorts of whatever. But Metallica did save the day though. They played for it seemed like 3 hours.
Oh jeez.
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
Metallica I mean, you
that was the
say what you will about Metallica, they fucking rule live. They are really fucking live, amazing live.
Well, it was awesome because Saint Anger came out, and I think they knew that it was, most people just didn't like it.
Yeah.
They played 2 songs off of that, and then all old shit. It was awesome, But, yeah. Music exchange.
So, Death Note was blase. It was way too rushed. I would have much rather seen as we always say, a 6-part miniseries.
I really think that's gonna when it comes to these more obscure things like this, or things that that need to be held with kid gloves kind of thing. It's you gotta just do it this way. I mean, because people will consume it that way for one. So take your time with it.
Exactly.
It's not. It's no longer. It's no longer this thing where you got to cut a movie down to, you got to get it an hour and a half or people aren't going to watch it. It's just maybe for theaters, but if you're going to just
Netflix is a whole different game.
You could make that fucking 12 hours.
Yeah, for sure. And from what I've been seeing is that people aren't really receiving this adaptation very well. And I think the most common complaint is that it feels not complete, it feels rushed, it feels just not developed the way that it should have been.
Sure.
So
yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't have any interest.
And I really like Adam Wingard as a director. So it's unfortunate that
Scared.
scared McScared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
So I started watching this movie called Crush the Skull. I saw that title. I was like, okay, I need to watch this
Crush
movie.
the skull. Spit
And
on
it's-
your grave.
It's like it's kind of a fun little like comedy / horror. I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be as funny as I think it is.
I hope not.
I don't know. Because it's hard to tell. Like it's very like
Tongue in cheek.
yeah. I don't know.
Is it as funny as Tucker and Dale?
No. Oh no. Not at all.
God damn it.
No.
I could watch that every day.
Oh, I can't wait till September 1st. Little Evil on Netflix. Gonna be great.
That's like in 2 days.
Yeah, it is. But then it's all about this like group of burglars that break into this house, and it ends up being like a crazy murdering person that has all these like trap rooms.
Don't breathe. Did somebody get spermed with a turkey baster?
Not that I saw, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, we need more
God,
turkey basters in our movies.
Did it have to drip as he slow-mo
Oh.
walked towards her?
Oh,
Oh my
I mean, it
God.
made it memorable. Made that movie memorable for
That's-
sure.
Yeah. I'll never
But-
forget the turkey baster.
Yeah, so I fell asleep during Crush the Skull, but I wouldn't say it was bad. I would say if you're into like home invasion, like a spin on the home invasion sort of genre, check it out. It's okay.
I fall asleep to movies all the time.
Yeah.
I fall asleep at theater sometimes. Like I fell asleep for the first 15 minutes of Hot Fuzz, and I love like
That is a long movie to sit through in a movie theater.
I fell asleep in the first 15 minutes.
Oh,
I just
okay.
fell asleep when we like sat down, and then I woke up 15 minutes into it. I'm like, oh, this is funny.
I actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I've seen Hot Fuzz like in its entirety, like in one whole sitting, because it's
got
just
Timothy
so
Dalton in
long.
it.
It's so long, and there's that middle section that just drags and drags and drags. I just
It's really hard. I love that. I'm gonna eat so much ice cream.
Otherwise, I watched Suicide Squad. Finally got around to watching it.
I've not seen it. Is it good?
It is.
Give it.
It is.
Give it an
Now-
approval. Let's hear
Now
it.
there are people out there, people we know,
We
that have
probably
claimed
just-
this is the worst like comic book adaptation movie, superhero movie that has ever been made.
We probably lost listeners now.
And they're just wrong. They're wrong. It is a good movie. The problem is the expectation for the characters when you're going into it. You cannot expect the Harley Quinn from the Batman animated series. You cannot expect the Joker. You cannot expect Mark Hamill's Joker. You cannot expect Heath Ledger's Joker. You cannot expect Jack Nicholson's Joker. You gotta go into it,
Who's your favorite Joker?
Mark Hamill.
Okay.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson is a close second. I like Heath Ledger, but
Nostalgia.
it's
I've
not
heard-
really the Joker.
I've heard two arguments about the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yep.
I've heard that it is the closest anybody's ever gotten to actually being the Joker, and I've heard he's the furthest thing from what the Joker is about. I've heard it's like politics. It's like he's not the Joker and he is the Joker. I've heard both arguments.
Yeah.
I don't
Because there's definitely two different sides to the Joker.
Yeah.
And I think Heath Ledger is more one side and not enough of the other.
Yeah, because I always thought of the like just it's probably because of seeing Jack Nicholson. I always thought of the Joker having a more playful side. Like, it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt Heath Ledger's Joker's like super dark.
Yeah, it's more like straight up the crazy side of Joker, whereas, yeah, Joker's insane, but he's also got this, like, very, he's got a plan. He's usually always got a plan. And it seemed like Heath Ledger's Joker was more, like, off the cuff, like,
but, like, he did plant
in the moment.
Bomb on that guy in the prison, and, like... See, because when I think about it, like, both ways, though, like, when I really get down to, like, brass tacks or whatever the saying we want to use, I think Heath Ledger's Joker would be pretty close. I mean, he's got that chaotic side to him.
Sure.
That Jack Nicholson did. But I think the problem with the Jack Nicholson Joker for me now is that they gave him a backstory. He was, what was the character's name?
I don't know.
Joe Chill or something? No, that was the guy that killed Cruise's parents. But, where he falls in that vat of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they give him a backstory, whereas, Heath Ledger's Joker just appears.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking crazy. And he's got this plan worked in and out in so many ways.
Sure.
And I like that it fails because he puts his money on the human condition or something, like, where he's like, they're going to just kill each other, and both these boats are going to go up in flames.
Yep.
But they don't. And he's just like, what? And so it's that I thought was neat, that he loses because people are better. So Batman doesn't even really beat the Joker. People beat the Joker in that one, So I thought that was kind of an interesting little spin on it.
Yeah. Jared Leto's Joker, I feel, is almost like a nice balance between the two. Like, the way they portray his insanity in Suicide Squad, I thought was really well done. Same thing with Harley Quinn. Like, it's got a weird, like, camera effect when you can tell they're, like, having a psychotic break. But, yeah, I agree with a lot of people that the tattoos and all that, like, doesn't necessarily fit.
Yeah, it almost makes him typical. It's just like, he's got tats, blah, blah. It's just like, there's something neat about the Joker being more clean but purple, like, and like the clown makeup or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, when you think of like the animated Batman, except for like the newer ones where he's like got dreads and he does capoeira or whatever.
God.
Like, it's like not that so much, but
yeah. So the thing that drags Suicide Squad down is the Enchantress. Now, when they introduce the Enchantress, it's fine, like, it's cool. And then she becomes the villain, and she raises this what was the Power Rangers, those goo guys? The clay guys? Putties. Yes. That is exactly what these enemies are. They're like... It's like watching the Power Rangers with Harley Quinn and Deathstroke or no, it's not Deathstroke, it's Deadshot. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't read a lot of comic books. I don't know anything about it. So like my own opinion on the Joker, I don't even consider really important because what I know of the Joker is mostly the movies anyways.
Yeah, no, and I don't care. Like, the only thing that kind of bugged me was Harley Quinn's, like, accent. She goes in and out of her like New York, Jersey accent.
Sure.
And it kind of bugged me. Just,
is that good for her character though, being kind of a schizo or whatever? That she goes in and out of different personalities, or is it just
no? It's not a personality.
Is it like an acting issue.
It's an acting issue.
Okay, because she's Australian.
I don't know.
You know what would have been a good Harley Quinn?
Huh?
That girl from Orange Is the New Black that wears red lipstick all the time, and she used to date the crazy girl from American Pie.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But she
Rose?
she does that accent. I don't know how to do a fucking.
Oh, no. I know. Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yes.
She sounds like a flapper girl almost.
Yes,
like,
yes. I was thinking of.
She's got the bobbed haircut. I mean, it's like she could have been. She could have been on Boardwalk Empire.
Yes, for sure. I was thinking of. Is her name Ruby Rose? Ruby something Ruby.
Something Ruby. Yeah, probably. Ruby Rod.
Yes. In any case,
I love him. He's so talented.
Suicide Squad is great if you take out the whole element that they're fighting against.
You mean the Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like as a whole, it's a great movie, entertaining, nice. What I like about DC movies over Marvel is that they tend to go for a more dramatic angle as opposed to just being like these fun fluff pieces that the Marvel movies are.
Sure.
So I don't know, you get more character moments in DC movies.
Yeah, I could see that.
So,
I mean, I liked Man of Steel. I didn't like Batman vs Superman.
No.
And I didn't like it because they blew their load. That was my problem with it. Like, I didn't like that they went right to Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, whoa. At least get the Justice League set up first and then bring in Doomsday, and then,
Well, and then they destroy Doomsday.
Yeah, and so now what are you going to do? And, I mean, at the end of the movie, Superman might come back. It's like, well, who cares? There's no more Doomsday. What's the point?
Right.
Who's he going to fight? Lex Luthor? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And Batman and Superman have the same mommy name. It's like, ooh, we could be friends now. I mean, I did think that was dumb.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, I played a little bit more Observer.
Good.
Which, yeah, it is freaking insane. Like, I don't know how Aspyr, I think that's the developer, thought of this game, like how to make this game, because it's just like batshit crazy. Like, just so I like jacked into a person for the first time, like jacked into their brain, to relive their memories. And it's just like you get those moments where like you're facing one way and then you turn around and turn back and it's a completely different thing.
Is this VR?
No.
Okay.
No. It would be cool in VR. But yeah, and it's just like you're in this big apartment complex and there's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just crazy. Like, if you're into like the cyberpunk horror, I don't know, cyberpunk is the wrong word, I think. Right?
Well, cyberpunk's like Shadowrun.
Yeah, it's got like the evil,
almost even like Blade Runner even.
Yeah, it's definitely Blade Runner-esque for sure. But yeah, it's got the evil tech company corporation.
Skynet?
Yeah. Yep. So it's cool. I'm excited to play more of that. But yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
All right, we got some news here. First of all, this is not necessarily horror related. Well, it's kind of. It's got plenty of gore for sure. That Blade of the Immortal trailer. Oh my God!
Takeshi Miike film.
His 100th.
It looks really good.
Oh, it looks phenomenal.
If you like, so based on just the trailer.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how well story wise it is, but it seems to capture like the idea of Blade of the Immortal. Like I've read like probably the first like 6 mangas of that, and just haven't bought all the other ones. There's 500,000 of them, but I really like that story. And
does he in the manga? Does he always have a swastika on his back?
Yeah.
So
and they explain actually in the manga too. It explains what it means. Because it's first off, I don't think it's orientated the same way that the Nazis used it.
Yep.
And
wasn't it a Native American symbol?
Well, I think that it was a symbol all over the fucking place before the Nazis got it.
Yeah.
And but it's and the Nazi ones set like where like the arms are flat, This is at an angle, so it's
okay.
It's not even a swastika.
Yeah.
Really, it's not orientated the same way as the swastika is. And there's a disclaimer in the manga about what it is and what it means according to this culture.
Oh, okay.
You know, and so there's that.
Yeah, it didn't look like in the trailer like he had that. Did you notice
I
at
did
all?
notice. I thought I did see it like once.
Did you?
Yeah. But
Okay.
maybe he acquires it. In the manga, he just got it right away.
Yeah.
You know, it's just on his back. And I thought, you know, they put a disclaimer there for what it's about, you know, which I generally don't like disclaimers when it's just trying to ease people's tension because they can't handle imagery kind of things. But what I liked about this disclaimer was it was educational. It's like, this is actually what this means. You know, I mean, you didn't have to go do the research yourself. You know? So so with that one I was like, okay, you know, like normally I don't really.
Well, that's different from being like, this contains graphic violence.
Yeah,
that sort of deal.
Sure. I mean, even like that's like one thing. I mean, that I'm okay with in case you're a parent and you're like, hey, yeah, let's go watch a samurai. Oh my fucking god! Don't close your eyes, kid. I didn't know this was. You know, I was thinking it was gonna be like a Akira Kurosawa shit and it's fucking heads rolling all over the goddamn place, you know, kind of a thing. So I'm like, I'm okay with like that kind of disclaimer, but like, but I still believe in buyer beware. You know, it's like you can do some research on it first, you know, that kind of a thing. But when it comes to like, you know, trying to balance between people's sensitivities because they can't handle imagery of things, it's like, I mean, how do you exist in the world?
Right.
You know, I mean, settle down. You know,
settle down.
You save your microaggressions for, you know, get mad about something real, you know. But like if a character,
but it is real.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like this, I mean, if like to look at a character from this manga and see a swastika on his back and then get pissed when it's first off not a swastika, it's not oriented the same way.
You know, if this gets a theatrical release, which I don't know if it will, like at least not a wide release. Yeah. You know, there would be people instantaneously being like, "This is a white supremacist movie," like, or not even white. This is a Nazi propaganda movie, like without even knowing anything else about it.
Yeah,
and those people are fucking stupid.
It just seems like it seems like. But it's weird though, because like I think this movie is not going to get widespread, so I don't think actually anything would happen with this movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think they would come out about this, but it's just the idea of, for me, it was like that disclaimer in the book. It's kind of like interesting that you would feel the need to do that, especially coming from a Japanese manga, because I mean, we had that thing where the UN tried to ask Japan to tone down their sexuality in their imagery and stuff, and they were like, no.
Yeah, no,
we're not going to do that. These things were created by women, and so it's like we're not going to tone down our sexual imagery because you don't like it. Just don't look at it. And that's kind of my take on anything like this. If you don't like something, then don't consume it. You know, it's just that simple. You know, I mean, you know, and so that was my thing with like that. It's kind of interesting seeing a disclaimer, but like also then giving you the history behind it. You know, it's like, hey, look, everybody. And I get it, too, because at the same time, it's like I understand the disclaimer because you're trying to make money at the same time as being art. You know, so it's just like, well, I don't want to turn people away because they're going to be offended by this image. So let's explain it to them. So I think it's that the way they did that disclaimer is a neat way to reach out at the same time, you know, as being sensitive.
And, you know, I guess out of any sort of symbol out there, like, you can't just slap a swastika on something and not explain anything. Like, I could see it coming across as, like, a little bit, like questionable.
Today's climate.
Oh, for sure.
Climate. Like, if he's got a swastika on his back, I mean, I could see where that could be a problem for some people, but I doubt it just because it's like horror movies and feminism.
Right.
It's just like, granted, women generally come out on top, but a lot of women die in horror movies, and you know their boobs come out all the time. But you never really, they don't seem to come out like they did against video games. The third wave feminism.
Well, no, and the funny thing is, like, there's been studies where like a large percentage of horror movies, like the genre in general, like are female fans of the genre. Like more women watch horror movies than any other genre.
Okay, sure, yeah, and that's kind of that's neat that it works that way. It's like, okay, so if a video game is throwing boobs around, it's like, oh, that's being sexual, but it's like a movie does it, like a horror movie does it, and like you don't hear shit about it.
See, that's the thing. Like I think we get told like the minority perspective of like girls are automatically going to view any sort of sexualization of the female form as a sexist, sort of misogynistic ideal.
Yeah.
But I think the typical woman understands it's not about that.
I mean, the problem. I mean, if a non-real character is being sexualized, it's not a real person anyways.
It's
I mean,
not.
I suggest anybody who's listening to this that has a problem to watch the Sex in Art documentary about just like sex in comics and stuff. They talk to like, was it not Andy Warhol? I can't think of the guy's name. Not Andy Warhol's the soup can guy, right?
Yeah.
Not him. Not Robert Crumb either, but I think they talk about him, Robert Crumb, and they talk to John Waters maybe.
Sure.
And about like it's just sex in art is because with this new climate, it's always about like these safe places. There's no safer place to express yourself sexually than with fictional people.
Right, because you're not harming anyone.
And I mean, now if you want to talk about equal representation of sexual or of sexual like sexualized characters, yeah, women are definitely more sexualized than male characters in media. Then I could see that. Where you don't really see bulging cod pieces on male characters for things, and if they want to do that that's fine. That wouldn't. It doesn't put me off if a character was over-sexualized. A male character was over-sexualized. Like,
because we've gotten it from birth, like the Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like
super sexualized male character.
Yeah,
he's like, but he's a tough male, and then you got Red Sonja, who's wearing literally nothing. And it's the whole, none of that bothers me because they're characters, and I like sex, and I like the female body, and I don't have a problem with that. It's the matter of like what I'm doing in my head is my business, and if I want to share that and it's something that you don't like, then just don't consume it. That's simple, I mean, they've already
no one is forcing anyone at gunpoint to watch anything.
or because I was just reading that article about that Dragon's Crown thing again, and it was just driving me nuts about the people getting up in arms about the sorceress's giant boobs.
Yeah,
it's like It's they're comically large.
It's ridiculous. I love, how did that one person put it, like mutant proportions?
Yeah, I was reading comments and somebody was like, it's just like, whether the woman's got no curves or mutant style curves, it doesn't matter. It's, whatever. And it's like, and that's the thing, that game was so good, it didn't matter. And despite that character being super sexualized, and as far as an anime, like a drawn character female goes, it was like, yeah, that was super sexual and like very attractive, but I played as the non-figured elf character because she used the bow, and that's what I prefer to use in video games, is a bow and arrow. So it's just like, I guess maybe I'm above what they think. Then if they think that every guy that or gamer, and I want to say guys because there's growing, but every gamer that plays these games is just this 12-year-old, jerk fest while they're playing these games. Well, I guess I'm better than that because I don't do that. No, I don't. I play as the characters with small boobs.
Right, and I was the same way because like I don't like using characters that use magic. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, she's nice to look at, but like I'm not gonna play as her because that's not my play style.
I tried playing as her, and I just didn't. I wanted to play as the elf character, and I was going through it, and I beat it with the elf character, then I didn't play it anymore. Yeah. I tried each character for a little bit of the game just to see what each of them did, and that one was the one I liked the most with how it's placed. I was like quick and fast, but I guess it's funny bringing up Gamergate because it seems to have fizzled out, but it's just like I wasn't in it when it was going on, and it's just like listening to it is just like that was the most asinine thing I think I've ever
it's
seen.
fucking insane. Like,
Yeah.
if you, like, go back and
But
see
no,
how it
yeah.
all, like, started and
Yeah.
how it all played out, like,
Yeah.
it is
But maybe it did have an
crazy.
Because look at these games this year. Except for Resident Evil 7, it's been all females. Of varying bust size.
Yeah, but none of the games are, like, overtly hurrah feminism.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can run around in 2B's underwear and
Yeah.
and you're out of mind.
Oh,
you know.
that game is a feminist nightmare.
And I love that game. But I mean, even Horizon, which I couldn't get into, but not because of the character. I liked the beginning of that game. If you want to say that's game of the year, I'll say yes. The first 30 minutes of that game, or the first 3 hours of the game, is game of the year. But after that, I don't want to play it anymore. But like,
I love it.
And that's a great. I mean, and so I think so I don't like where I think that there is something to that. So not every every female character does it, and I think that's what makes me mad about Gamergate is that I think that before Tomb Raider's got her breast cut in half, as far as size goes, you could have had a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, and everybody was going to love that game.
Yeah, and
it has. So I mean,
it has nothing to do with
exactly
this narrative that people don't want to play as female characters.
Yeah, and
it's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Or like it's, or like the idea that you can't be. Not everybody needs to be equally the white male character has just become a neutered generic character. Yeah. There's nothing like the prototype games. I really liked the first and second game, but I liked the second game the most. I just liked the way that story was, and you play as an African American guy.
Yeah,
I'm not an African American guy. Now, granted, I know what the argument is. Well, you're representing all these other games, but what I'm saying is I don't think people play games to relate to characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they might, but you don't. I mean, I don't have to relate to Kirby Puckett because he's a black man. I could relate to him because I wish I could have been a home run hitter like him or playing professional baseball.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, I mean,
on the N64, you remember that shit?
Well, yeah.
Or no, that was Super Nintendo.
Yeah. So
there was a
what I hate about
too,
the third wave feminist Gamergate thing was the assumption that everybody that we couldn't handle these other they're being exclusives. Well, then do something about it. I mean, make a different game. Look at now you got all these games with Senua's Sacrifice. You play as a female going through Vikings hell and this and that, and it's being consumed and everybody likes it.
Yeah.
And I still disagree with them. You could have given me this game at any point in my life. Fucking
yeah.
At any point, Super Metroid because in Metroid you find out you're playing as a girl, but I didn't go back. I found out Metroid was a girl. I would still run around playing Metroid, and I would make myself a gun arm out of construction paper and still pretend I was Samus. I didn't care that was a fucking girl.
No,
and I was 10 years old.
That's what bugs me the most is the idea that. I mean, maybe we're just anomalies.
Yeah, maybe.
But I feel like the average gamer doesn't think about these issues.
Yeah. I think that, the average gamer is going to enjoy a hyper-sexualized female character if they're a heterosexual person. And if they're not, or a girl, they're either going to not care about it or not consume it.
Right, and it's I mean, if the game is good,
they're going to play it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the characters look like.
Exactly. So I mean, if you're taking issue with a character's look, that's your own problem.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not playing the game.
It's very puritanical, weirdness, projecting how you feel about a character
you're
onto other people.
Yeah, because you're uncomfortable with your sexuality or with the sexuality of things. Because you can hypersexualize something and still be respectful. I mean, it's not like you're playing as a sorceress and she's being raped or something. I mean, I would oppose that. Now, I wouldn't. My opposition to that would be to not purchase it.
Sure.
I mean, if somebody else wants to explore that darkness in that media themselves, I'm not going to stand in anybody's way to do anything. Now, if somebody's trying to rape a girl in real life or something, I would, try to stop that.
Obviously.
Obviously. But I mean, as far as being over-sexualized, it doesn't make somebody a victim right away. It's not. This sorceress is not a victim because let's pretend this sorceress was a real person, right now. And she comes in here, and I try to grab her tits. She's going to light my ass on fire, and I'm going to die. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, it's just like, I mean, and like the narrative with that game, it was like, oh, these are weak. They're treating these female characters as weak. It's like, well, the biggest character in the game was the Amazon. I mean, as far as musculature goes,
right?
She was huge, and then, the elf character was small and childlike, but she was quick. I mean, if you watch Game of Thrones, you see like that guy with all the armor on gets his ass whooped by the guy with no armor on. Because he's able to move faster and this and that.
But poor Oberon gets his head crushed anyways.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about when that guy kicks that knight down the moon hole or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But there's our anti-third wave feminist rant for the fucking year. But it just got me because I was reading it because I was looking forward. I was trying to figure out when 13 Sentinels was coming out.
Oh, that's right.
So I was just going through like other Vanillaware stuff.
Yeah.
And those Vanillaware games are top notch. I mean, for like classic 2D scrolling beat 'em ups or 3D kind of like those games are so much fun.
You can't beat that art style either. Yeah. Like it's
the
best out there.
I mean, I wonder now because George Kitanami did apologize for trying. If anybody's offended by his artwork, he had a reason for doing it. Now a lot of these people say, "Oh, that's a bullshit excuse." That's a bullshit lie. He doesn't actually care. So maybe he goes.
I don't think if he's a true artist, like I don't think he would care. But I think it's fine that he apologized.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry you were offended. Like,
well, I mean, he even says he was sorry if he offended anybody with the artwork. I mean, he takes responsibility for that.
Sure.
And I don't think he needed to do that, but at the same time, I think that's neat that he reached out because he's trying to sell a product.
Yeah.
So I wonder now, is he going to tone that down from now on with his games?
I hope not. Like,
I honestly don't care if he does. Because the games are so much fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound like that. Like, I hope he draws more giant-breasted women.
Yeah.
Like, no, not at all. I hope he feels comfortable creating the art that he wants to create without any sort of, like, feeling that he needs to cater towards anyone else's vision of what is acceptable in society.
Exactly. And like, with 13 Sentinels, it's set in, like, a more mechanical... So I could see where things would be slimmer than that. But, like... Everything in Dragon's Crown was accentuated some way or another.
For sure.
Everything was crazy looking in that, And I don't know. That just drove me nuts reading those things, and it's just, getting there. But yeah.
So
more news.
Couple more things.
How do we even get there?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think every once in a while we just got.
There was a swastika.
That's what it was. Blade of the Moral and the swastika.
Yeah.
And are people going to get up in arms about it?
Yep. So there's this new Walking Dead mobile game coming out. It's called The Walking Dead Our World. And it's supposed to be like a augmented reality Pokemon Go type game. So the trailer is completely like, the game is not going to be like this trailer. The trailer showed like... basically the vision of you holding the phone, and then there'd be like knives that you could pick up and guns, and then you'd like be waving your arms in front of the camera, slicing zombies and all that stuff. So I don't know what it's actually going to be like, but
it's Walking Dead, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's like an augmented reality type thing.
I like the idea, but like I've never been able to get into. We've talked about this many times, but I can't get into that goddamn show. Can't do it.
What if it's like you see people in the street and it zombifies them, and you have to like?
I really doubt it's gonna be
hack
that.
at
Like
people.
You're gonna be walking down the street and be like, and people just ran like, "What are you doing?" I'm playing the new Walking Dead game. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
Go for it, man.
Go ahead and wave your phone at me like you're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not too keen on that idea. I don't play games on my phone.
Me either.
I wish I could play games on a smaller screen in general. It's just tough for me because I have a TV.
I like controls.
Yeah.
I've never been big in the whole like touch screen
Yeah, I don't mind
thing.
touchscreen or touch controls as far as like as an auxiliary control to something.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be my main mode of transportation and all that. But no thanks.
We'll see. Apparently, like all the main characters, like Daryl and Michonne and all that, pop up to help you. So we'll see. If it's free, I might check it out. But
yeah,
there's this new anthology series
you and your anthology
coming to Amazon called Lore. And apparently this is based on a podcast where they take like real life events and stories and sort of those are what formed the urban legends and tales that we know today, like vampires, like where vampires came, where that idea came from and all that. So it seems like a really cool idea. It's going to be 6 episodes, I believe, this first season. October 13th, all 6 will be available. So
I'm gonna check that one out. Actually,
I love me some anthologies.
Well, I like to see like them just explore like the legends behind things like that. Like I've read some things about vampires, like in like Wallachia, they used to like put a pure boy on a horse and walk him over like gravestones or something.
Huh.
And if the horse reared, they would dig the body out because they think it was a vampire or something, you know.
Well, yeah, I guess it's gonna mix like documentary type footage, like real footage with I don't know, scripted, what do you call that? Like not reenactments. Well, maybe.
I guess
maybe that's a word for it.
Maybe
reenactments. Yeah. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Maybe want to check out the podcast. So I guess the podcast is really good.
What's it called? Lore?
Lore.
And that's what the podcast is called?
Yep.
Cool. I'll check that out.
And last but not least, what would life be like without some good old Hollywood whitewashing?
That's last and least?
Yeah.
We already had our like
political rant.
Our political rant.
Yeah. All right.
I think that no, go ahead, but there is one bigger and the most important piece of news. So go do this.
Oh, yes, there is.
First.
Okay.
Do this first.
So
what was whitewashed?
This new Hellboy movie coming out?
Yeah.
They cast this actor, Ed Skrein. I don't know how to say his last name.
Sure.
He's a white guy. They cast him in a role that in the comics is like a mixed Asian character. And he decided he wasn't the right person to portray this role, so he dropped out of the movie because of that.
Because he felt like he was whitewashing this character.
Yes.
Okay.
He felt like he wasn't right to portray this role.
So despite my I don't care. I mean, they could whitewash, blackwash Japanese. I mean, they could do whatever they want with any movie that they want to do. I don't care if they can change characters. I mean, however they want. And so I don't care that he did that. Like if he feels that, hey, we should get a mixed Asian character in here instead of me, and he stepped down to have that done, I'm okay with that. That's his choice.
Yeah.
And I believe in,
Yeah, it's a little bit different than like there being this outcry and then he gets fired.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah, he stepped
it's
down.
Different from like stepping down. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the character. I mean, if his being half Asian is integral to that character, I could see that being get an Asian guy. But like for example, having Idris Elba cast as the
gunslinger.
The gunslinger. It's also like there's a whole that's.
See that right there is kind of an integral.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because who's the character that
Savannah?
He has the gunslinger has interactions with Savannah that has to do with him being white.
Yes.
And so like that originally seemed to me like now that I don't think that I mean what are they going to do with this now? Now
they cut that part out.
Well, because they're not even following the books. because the way the way that the story exists, this can happen this way because of its cyclical nature of this world, and I think that's a cool way to write that out because I think that's a cool way to take care of that, But like if this character, like if his Asian culture is integral to his person, sure, step down and have somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Or I think that's better than trying to make Scarlett Johansson look Japanese. But I don't care how people cast anything. You can change genders, you can change races. I don't care. Just hire some. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, as long as it's not like a defining trait of the character that they are a certain.
Or find a workaround if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like they did with Idris Elba.
Exactly.
They found a workaround. From what I understand about what the movie is and what the books were, I don't think I'm going to like the movie anyways.
No.
Because it ends up being an action flick, and I guess that's not what the books were, and so I don't.
Yeah, and I really like Idris Elba. I think I haven't seen Dark Tower, but I think he made a great gunslinger.
Sure.
Just from what I have seen of it.
Yeah.
But that whole gunslinger Savannah element was really like, I don't know, it was one of my favorite aspects of the book just because it is this like coming together, like she's like hardcore racist and so
you watch the two
those
characters overcome this
exactly.
Okay, sure.
So it's a really like touching, emotional aspect of the story.
Sure.
And to remove that, it's kind of.
Well, it would be bad to remove that if that's what they were following, but they weren't following that story arc anyways. I guess is how you could look at that if you wanted.
Sure.
I don't know. Stephen King endorsed the movie, so I figured it wasn't going to be very good. Because, when he came out and endorsed, what's the semi-truck?
Oh, Maximum Overdrive.
When he came out and endorsed
well, he directed that movie.
A lot of people can't do my movies right, and it's like, The Shining as a movie is better than the book.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. But, again, that's that political shit where, like, it's like it shouldn't even be news.
No.
They cast a guy, and the guy, I think it's honorable. There's a degree of honor that, hey, the guy's like, because there are probably Asian American actors trying to get in. You got a character that you can relate to. Or,
absolutely.
You got a character that you look like. Maybe somebody gets a gig, and, but I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't care that Idris Elba was the gunslinger. I don't care that Scarlett Johansson was Makoto. I don't care about any of that. You can change all of that. It's your story, or you have bought the license to change it.
Yeah,
whatever the fuck you want.
It really, to me, it really comes down to like a person looking a certain way doesn't necessarily reflect their ability to portray that character.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Eric Shrine could have possibly played that character differently, but well. It could have been still an interesting character.
Yeah.
But he decided he didn't want to try to make it something. And I actually appreciate because if they're going to try to keep it more to the book, I'm always okay with that. Great, but they didn't do that with other things, and it's not as good, but
whatever.
I don't know.
So enough of our
political shit.
Yes.
I feel like we're just trying to like tell everybody we're not racist. We're not sexist. We're not racist. We don't care who. Anybody can do whatever they want. It seems to be like. I just hate. Like I hate these conversations because that's what it ends up being. It's just like, if you try to say you don't care, then you're a racist. If you try to say, well, do whatever you want, it's just like, well, then I hate it because you try to ride the middle and you got both sides just trying to pull you either way. It's just like,
that's why you don't listen.
That's why you try not to give a fuck.
Yep. Exactly.
But here's something we give a fuck about. We lost another great this year.
Yes. Dear Toby
Hooper. Yep. So that's too bad. What do you say? He put together some fucking sweet movies.
You know, Body Bags, that cover art, like, I was going back through, like, Tobe Hooper's filmography, and that cover art for Body Bags, like, I will never forget the first time I saw that at a Mr. Movies in my hometown. Like, I don't know.
So I was trying to look up that Body Bags movie and see the cover art because I don't remember it. So that wasn't Tobe Hooper.
Yeah, it was. So it's three. It's like a anthology type movie.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm like, I keep seeing John Carpenter's Body
Yeah,
Bags.
it's like a 3-part. 3 directors made it.
Okay, gotcha.
That
is a sweet cover, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. John Carpenter presents Body Bags. But yeah.
Speaking of John Carpenter, not to jump off topic right away, but
we're gonna go see.
We're gonna go see John Carpenter live, November 7th.
It's gonna be cool.
Ah.
I got to see Goblin before.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. But rest in peace, Tobe Hooper, George Romero.
So in honor of Tobe Hooper, this episode's movie of the week is 1974's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths, in particular Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother Franklin. It is all the more tragic in that they were young, but had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is another movie I got to see in theater.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I'm not old enough to, but like it was being played by a friend who had keys to a movie theater.
Oh, nice.
We watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the movie theater. And again, it was the first time that I saw that movie. It was in a theater.
That's awesome.
I mean, I gotten pretty lucky that way. You know, getting to see movies like that in the theater. But, yeah. Well, who we got starring in this one?
So, this movie is starring Marilyn Burns as Sally, William Vale as Kirk, Terry McMinn as Pam, Alan Danziger.
Close enough.
I just like Danziger. Zigger. As Jerry, Paul A. Partain as Franklin, Edwin Neal as Hitchhiker, and another lost legend, Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface.
Actually, a lot of people from this movie aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
Including the woman who plays Sally, Franklin, Leatherface, the cook, or the proprietor, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost a few from this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think this was 43 years ago.
Yeah.
That's like almost half a decade.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it feels like...
Not decade,
I
century.
think it's been redone so many times, you know, and like because of the content of it, it almost feels like it should have been an 80s movie.
Yeah.
You know, but even that, I mean, those 80s slashers are now 30 years old. You know, it's... Fuck.
God damn.
Hey, Time, could you slow down a little bit?
It was written by Kim Henkel and Tobe Hooper and directed by Tobe Hooper. Yeah,
Deep, 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 deep. Wow, dude, your brain just exploded. We're going to start talking about how the movie begins?
Yeah, so it starts out with the classic narration explaining this is a true story.
Which it's not.
And they, what does it say? Like the events that occurred in the Texas, whatever.
I don't remember, but none of it's true.
Yeah. And then we get like a camera flash going off with that classic.
Yeah, like the rewind sound of the winding sound of the film being turned or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got a cool creepy feel because as the flash comes out, you see images of body parts and faces.
Yep.
And
decaying corpses.
Yep. And
decomposing.
And then we get like a newscaster talking about recent vandalisms in a graveyard, and then you get this slow panning shot, like a pulling away shot of these two bodies like set up.
Well, I think it was one body, and then there was another head.
Yeah, something weird, and it was stood up on a tombstone. So
it was like impaled.
Yeah.
Through like the groin area or stomach.
Yeah, it was propped up somehow on that tomb, and so to make it look like it was standing, and so that's how it starts off, and so that gives you a slight bit of story for what's going on with these characters that we meet now in a van.
So then we get we learn it is August 18th, 1973.
Should have watched this on August 18th. So
it's this green van, and there are 5 people on board. There's Jerry, who's driving, Pam, Pam is
Kirk's girlfriend, right? Yeah,
because Sally is the blonde. That's Jerry's girlfriend.
And then we got Franklin,
who we meet when they stop on the side of the road, put the planks out, and Franklin is in a wheelchair.
Yep. And he's trying to make a pee-pee.
Yep, they give him a can, which I don't really understand, like, why the can.
Okay, so look at your chair right now.
Yeah.
Imagine pulling your wiener out.
Yeah.
You get piss all over yourself. So you pee in a can. Well, it's going to get all over your chair and shit, you know?
Why would it get all over my chair?
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm just looking like this. If I just try to, like, hang it, you can't get your pants all the way off, for one, because you can't
What are you talking about?
Okay, don't use your legs and take your pants off. Do it right now.
He doesn't have to take his pants off. He can unzip his zipper, pull his wang out.
But what if he's got a small wang?
Okay.
Plus he's situated like this, right? So he's on his ass. Even if he's hanging over, you could get piss on his. Well, for example, his legs, his feet are right where he'd be pissing because they're in the foot plates, for the wheelchair. So he'd get piss on himself. So he gets a can.
I guess with the trailing off.
Yeah.
Sure.
You could get piss on himself.
I understand.
It's just easier to piss on a can.
I'll accept.
But in any case, a semi goes by and he falls down a hill.
Yep.
Gets scuffed up. And I almost like the makeup of his scuffs on his elbows.
They look real. Like I almost wonder,
fell down this hill.
Yeah. Or they pushed him down a hill.
But that was, it was consistent. But so he gets in the car, and he's kind of a negative Nancy. He's bitching about the heat. He's talking about
a very strange character. Like, I don't know if he was specifically written that way.
Well, they say he's an invalid is the terminology they use.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's still okay to use, but they say he's an invalid, and he's he kind of just keeps kind of chit chatting about just random shit, and then they get like this stench, and they end up there by the slaughterhouses, and he's going through about how they used to hit him with sledgehammers, and now they use the No Country for Old Men thing,
the bolt gun,
and so they talk about that until they see a guy on the side of the road.
Well, don't they stop at the cemetery first?
They do,
because that's the whole like point of this trip.
Part of this trip is because their grandfather was buried in one of these cemeteries that were vandalized, and they go to check to see if he's vandalized.
It was Sally's, right?
Sally and Franklin's
Yeah.
grandfather, and apparently he was not vandalized. So they go to the old house that was owned by their father, and that's where they're heading.
Yes.
But on their way there, after the cemetery, they
meet
meet a guy on the side of the road.
Hitchhiker.
A hitchhiker.
And it's weird because some of them are kind of hesitant to pick him up. I think it's Sally for the most part. She's like, he looks weird.
Yeah, I think everybody is except for Jerry. He's like, oh, he's gonna suffocate out here or something.
Or Franklin maybe said that.
No, Franklin didn't want to bring him on. He starts calling him a vampire.
Oh, that's right. So in any case, they pick him up, and yeah, he's as weird as he appeared.
Yep.
He's got like was it a birthmark?
Yeah.
Like down the side of his face.
Yeah. And he's got like a weird like skin bag on him made out of animal furs.
Yeah, he's got a camera strapped around his neck.
He pulls some pictures out of some of the gorier things that you're assumed that were animals, but
probably not.
Passes them around like, oh wow. Then he sees Franklin's knife.
Yep.
It's a little pocket knife, and he takes it from him, cuts his hand up, and they're all like, what the fuck? And then he takes his camera out and takes pictures of everybody.
Yeah, well, and then I think before that, he takes out his own, like, straight razor.
Yeah, and he wants to, like, give it to Kirk. See, it's a good one. He goes, oh, you can, that's great, buddy. And then he takes a picture, and Frank's like, it didn't turn out very good. So then he puts the picture on a little tin.
Well, he tries to charge him for it. He's like, that'll be $2.
Yeah, it'll be $2. It's a good picture. It's $2. And he's like, no, I'm not paying you. And then he starts the picture on fire. And then they kick him out of the van, and he smears blood on the van. And
well, he takes the straight razor and cuts Franklin's arm.
Poor Franklin.
Yeah. Poor invalid.
Yeah, he gets fucking rolled down a hill, and then he gets cut by a fucking crazy person, and then...
Yep. So yeah, they kick him out. He
gets mad.
He wipes his hand on the side of the van, and it seems like it's some sort of symbol, but I could never really make out if it was anything.
Well, that's what Franklin assumes too.
Yeah,
that's a symbol of some sort.
Right.
And I thought maybe it's a marker for if they stop at that gas, if they stop anywhere and anybody that's part of their family sees it, they're like, oh,
right.
They're part of. Let's get them.
Yep.
But so they pull over at a barbecue joint and gas joint to get gas, and they don't got no gas.
Nope.
And then the proprietor, I think, what's he labeled as? The cook.
Yeah, he's just like the cook.
Yeah, but he says he's trying to convince him not to go up to the old Franklin house.
He's like, yeah, these girls don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Like you can all stay here.
Yep, because the transport should be here any by mid-afternoon with the gas.
Or early the next morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then they go to the house anyways.
Yep.
And so they get on there doing some exploring and kind of just leave Franklin to his own devices. And they're going through the house talking about bits and pieces from their childhoods and blah, 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 making jokes and laughing about this and that, and Franklin's not happy about this. He's just been kind of left down there.
Yeah.
And he's making fun of them giggling, and he keeps going...
Fart noises.
Noises, and that's also what the hitchhiker was doing.
Oh, I didn't... Yeah, when they kicked him out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and so... Then Pam and Kirk come down, and they go, hey, I heard there's a swimming hole. Yeah, it's back between the two sheds. And they're like, okay... Well, we'll see you in about an hour. And so yes, we'll see you in about an hour. So they go down there, and
they hear like a running motor type thing.
Yeah, and they figure, we can get gas now. And so they go over to it, and
it's the
it's like a generator.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so they're wandering around this property, and she doesn't want to go inside, so she waits outside.
Yeah, there's like a swing chair out there.
He goes in, and there's like this weird sliding door where there's like shit pinned around. Like there's like all sorts of like talisman looking things all over the fucking
bone
place.
Talismans. Yeah.
And he gets whacked with a hammer.
Yep. We first encounter Leatherface.
Yep. He comes out and clink, and then he hits him 2 more times.
And this is like the way that this actor, William Bale, when he gets hit with the hammer, how he like flops around, flails around, like, oh, it just gives you like the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Well, she goes in to find him because he hasn't come out, and then she herself gets caught. Well, she like falls and like a bunch of chicken feathers.
Oh, yeah. She runs into some room, and it's like the bed frame is made out of bones, like human bones, like almost like a wide flayed human. Yeah.
But so then she ends up by that room, and she gets caught.
Yep.
And he drags her into the room, puts her on a hook, and then slaughters her boyfriend in front of her.
Chainsaws the head off.
Yep. And she's screaming, and then he puts her in a freezer.
Yep. Well, it didn't show him putting her in the freezer.
But so when we get back to the other two, they're friends, blah, blah, blah. They go back to the van. It's getting late. They can't find their friends. So Jerry's like, I'll go look. You stay here with Franklin. So Jerry goes to find him, and he does. He finds Pam in the freezer.
Because he hears like a banging inside the freezer. So he opens it up, and Pam's in there. At first she looks like she's dead, but then she springs to life, and
for a moment.
And then Leatherface comes in, and Jerry gets the hammer.
Yep. So yeah,
he closes the lid back on Pam.
So we got. So I mean, this like the movie like takes off at this point. Like it just like it's very like it just like hits the gas and goes at this point.
Yep.
So they're bitching about where's everybody. So
Sally wants to go look,
and
Franklin has the flashlight. Yeah.
And she's trying to get it from him, and he won't give it up. So she goes, fine, I'll just leave it down. Well, I'll come with you. And she's like, I can't push you
down the hill.
And so they figure out a way to go. He's holding a flashlight. They're going along, and then Leatherface pops out and chainsaws him.
Franklin is no more.
Yep. He gets chainsawed, and she starts screaming. And she doesn't stop screaming till the movie's over.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, there's I don't know, a long chase scene through the woods,
until
like through this
back in the house.
Tangled branches, all that.
Well, it seems like she's going around the house a few times until she just goes in the house.
Oh, I thought they were like in a woods.
Well, the woods. There are like there's a lightly wooded area surrounding the house. It seems. And this is where my wife was like, this is dumb. She's just running and screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not even trying to do anything, and it's just like, okay, fine, see you later. I'll finish this by myself. But so she goes in the house, and
she runs upstairs, and she gets into a room with like, they're not really taxidermied, or are they?
Kind of. I don't know. It's weird.
They're not very well preserved bodies, but it's like an old man and an old woman.
Yeah. And they're on like a bed, and then she jumps out a window.
Yeah.
She's good with windows. Jump out windows.
Yeah, not the only window she jumps out of in this movie.
Well, she takes off, and she makes it back to the barbecue joint. And the guy's like, okay, let me help you, blah, blah, blah. And he seems like he's going to take care of it, but he's kind of squirrely himself.
Yeah.
And then he pulls the truck around, and then he comes back in with a bag and some rope.
Yeah.
And she's like,
first warning sign.
What are you doing? And so she grabs a knife, and he goes, well, you don't want to do that. Then he grabs a broom and knocks it out of her hand and beats her with a broom.
Yep. Beats her unconscious with a broom handle.
Yep. And then picks her up, bags her, puts her in the truck, and then she starts screaming in the truck, and he just sits there and I mean, this is like this scene was like, oh, like it's just like him being like finally seeing
it goes on for a long time too.
He's just like jabbing her with this thing,
and he's like he'll start to laugh, and then he'll stop.
Oh, you don't gotta do that. Don't cry. Then he'll sit there and like like sit there and jab her with this fucking broom handle.
Yeah, very unsettling. Like
it was creepy,
uncomfortable.
And then he picks up the hitchhiker.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so they see the hitchhiker again, and
and then it turns out they know each other. Like,
yep, he's like the dad or something, and or the other brother or something. Go tell your brother to blah blah blah. You know, you guys are letting him get away. He's yelling at them all about this and that, and eventually, so they get her in there, and she passes out again because of why. Because then they don't put her at the dinner table right away.
No, she doesn't pass out until they cut her finger.
That's what it was. She cuts her finger and she's screaming and she kind of passes because the old man starts sucking on her finger.
Yes,
they bring Grandpa downstairs.
They bring Grandpa downstairs,
sucking on the finger.
Yes,
and then she wakes up at the head of the table or whatever, and they're all like getting ready to eat or whatever, and it's like, oh, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Rip the fuck out of this movie.
Welcome to the family, son.
Welcome to the family, son. But so they're just crazy.
Yeah,
and, like saying shit.
The grandpa just looks creepy, because he looks dead. He looks like a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's clearly like the blood of the young female.
Kind of gave him
rejuvenated him. Yes.
Well, they're talking about and the guy that owns the shop, because I don't take no enjoyment in killing, so he's gonna make the other two killing. He's like, we do all the work and you don't do nothing. You just the cook, and they're like having this infighting going on.
Yeah.
And let's let Grandpa do the killing this time. And so they drag her over, put a bucket under her face, and like have him start trying to hit her with the hammer, but he can't grasp it.
Yeah,
because he's so old.
Well, so he'll have it in his hand and then like try to swing down, and he just drops the hammer.
Yeah,
he hits her occasionally.
Yeah, and Leatherface starts helping him hit her.
Yeah,
but finally she's able to squirm away.
Well, because the hitchhiker goes, I'm gonna kill her. Like,
and so he lets go of her, and she manages to get away, and then she jumps out the fucking window again.
Yeah,
and it's like daytime at this point. So she runs out, and the hitchhiker chases her first, and he's like kind of playfully doing it.
Well, and Leatherface is not far behind with the chainsaw.
With the chainsaw, you hear him getting that ready.
Yep.
And so as they run out into the street, a semi comes and just runs over the hitchhiker.
Yeah.
And then Leatherface starts chasing her around the semi, and the guy comes out. And he gets to like see what's going on and help her, but then Leatherface comes, so he runs back in the truck.
He grabs a wrench.
Yep, and then pulls her in the truck. She goes out the other side. He goes out the other side. Then Leatherface comes around the corner around the truck, and he starts chasing him. And he tomahawk throws this wrench off his dome, and then keeps running. And he kind of stops for a second. Oh, he falls.
He falls and cuts his leg. Yeah,
and he screams.
Yep.
And then a truck comes and does like a peel-out thing, gets the girl back in it. She gets in the back of the truck, but Leatherface is coming slowly.
Yeah.
And but they manage to get away, and she does a crazy scream, laugh, cry, crazy laugh, screamy cry, and Leatherface dances.
The iconic that iconic shot of him twirling around with his chainsaw with the sun rising, such a one of my favorite shots in any horror movie, with the audio, like the way they did the audio.
And then it just ends.
Yep, it's over. Credits.
I mean, we were able to pretty much summarize that movie in like 10 minutes. But it's really, that's it. But it's so impactful that way though too. It doesn't dick around too much with, like, you get enough about the characters to... You don't really care about but you care about like Sally and Franklin kind of towards the end, because you realize that it's the whole.
Everyone else is dead.
Yeah, everyone else is dead, and I mean you don't get any really good character development, I guess. But it wasn't necessary either.
No,
it's not, and it's enough about them, or you see enough of them to oh, that's too bad. I guess not really. I don't really care about any of those characters except for Sally and Franklin. See, Franklin gets some character development because you see how he's struggling with something, and
he's sort of like automatically kind of victimized because he's in the wheelchair, and they kind of treat him.
Well, yeah, they poorly. They treat him poorly. He's in the wheelchair, so and this is a horror movie, so he's got a disadvantage. being in a horror movie and not being able to use your legs that's kind of tough. I mean, we've seen this with like sensory deprivation movies and like where those not being able to see or do this, those things make it hard to survive a horror movie.
Right.
But so you kind of feel for him right away, mainly too because why did you guys even drag him out to this? Kind of a thing, because I think he wanted to go, but like he kind of even realizes at one point, he goes, you guys didn't even want to bring me. So you feel bad for him. But Sally, is the female survivor, so you care about her because
she's the final girl.
She's the final girl. But what if she wouldn't have survived? How would you feel about that movie? Would have caught her at the end.
Well, doesn't the sequel pick up directly after that?
Yeah, I think so.
And doesn't she get killed? I can't remember.
I don't know. I know there's like one version of the movie where she like blows her brains out in the car as they're driving away.
Huh.
Maybe that. I don't know. There's something about something like this. What movie is that one? All I know is that in the second one, Leatherface does the penis dance with his chainsaw because that girl kind of like hits on him.
Yeah.
And then like he gives her boyfriend's face to wear so that the family won't be mean to her because it like kind of takes to her a little bit. So like that one was like super funny. Like, the second ones are like hilarious.
Yeah.
Now I've never read this anywhere, but I've heard that there was supposed to be a degree of humor even in the first one, but people missed it, and so apparently Tobe Hooper made the second one
to be more overt about it.
Overtly like funny, just to I don't know. So people could see it, and I don't know that that's true. So don't quote me on that, but I had heard this. And if somebody knows more about this, please let us know, because I'm interested in the idea that there's humor in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think the Franklin character definitely brings some levity to it, but I mean, it's just so raw and graphic otherwise that I wouldn't consider it even like a black comedy. Yeah. Like it's way too dark for that. I thought
maybe like the one, like when I go back and watch it, like looking for humor, the thing that got me was like her running around the house maybe. Like, why does she just keep running around this fucking house?
Well, and your wife has a point, like that the last sort of portion of the movie is all her just like screaming and running the entire time.
Yeah, but I mean, this is before like horror movies and scream queens and this and that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not really lampooning anything,
right?
That I can think of.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck was going on? If this is supposed to be humorous, where, how, and why? And I'm willing to accept that. I want to know what other people think about that.
Well, and it did start the whole stopping at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. Sort of, that's where that comes from.
That's another rule. If you don't have any gas, well, you're screwed. Yeah. Bring a gas can. If you got to stop for gas somewhere in rural Texas, you're probably going to die.
Yeah. So,
bleed on anything.
What do you think?
It's a classic.
Yes.
I will give it a Scream Fiends seal of approval. Most absolutely. As far as my my metallic grade that I'll give it, or if we want to call it that, I would go gold.
Gold?
Gold. I could plug that movie in almost any time and watch it and enjoy myself. But it doesn't do to me what Martyrs does.
No,
and
not
so
at
I can't give it a platinum. I think it's a great movie otherwise, but it's like it just, and but it's not a bad thing that it doesn't do what Martyrs does. It's just like it just doesn't do that. So as far as like impacting me that way, it doesn't do that, but I still like it otherwise. So I like it a lot. So I'm going to go gold.
I would lean more towards silver just because it is, I don't know, for me it's harder for me to sort of watch and enjoy. Just because it is so like raw and I don't know. It's brutal in a different way from Martyrs, where Martyrs is more, it makes you think about life. Like it's very existential.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just like pure violence for violence sake.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I can plug this one in. And I feel like watching, I don't know what to watch. I'll plug this in. It seems quick. it's a horror movie. It's got its humor, I guess. So it's kind of fun to try to look for it. I don't know. I really don't get the Jar Jar Binks feeling from from Franklin. Really, I don't find him being the levity. Like for him, he's the hardest part for me to watch because he seems like he's like slightly slower. Like he's like not all there mentally.
For sure.
Like, maybe he's like something, and so it's just like seeing him in this situation sucks. Like it's just,
he doesn't stand a chance.
He doesn't stand a fucking chance. So it's just
screwed.
it's that whole feeling, and but it's got some good horror movie things. They don't have keys to the van. They don't they got the one flashlight. They're the odds are all stacked against them. It's night out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more.
Plus,
I like
classic. So that's the other reason I give it a gold.
And the fact that it sort of spans, it doesn't really make you feel like it's cutting through time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, like it feels like a natural, progression through time. Like it starts in the afternoon and then it gets to the evening, then it ends in the dawn.
Yeah, it really.
And it feels natural.
It feels like a 24-hour period.
Yeah, So I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go with gold
because of the story progression being interesting that way.
Yeah, and besides, it's a classic. Like,
I just feel like
who would I be to give it anything less than a gold?
That's kind of like where it's that part of it.
Yeah. All right, get at us on Twitter at ScreamFiends. Let us know what you think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Patreon.com/ScreamFiends.
Twitter, Facebook,
YouTube.
Our website, 7volt Media.
7voltmedia.com. You can find all of the other programs that our people do. Zero XP Podcast is the video game podcast. Freedom Anime and Professional Wrestling is the Anti-Seinfeld Show. Tower Radio, if you're into Destiny. Destiny 2 is right around the corner.
Yeah, we might not be here next week. We're just going to be honest. We've talked about this, and next week you're going to get something, but
we don't know what it is.
We don't know what you're going to get yet.
It may be...
we may be indisposed.
Yeah, Destiny 2.
Unless it's like... I'll be honest right now. I'm just like... I don't care that it's coming out. That's how I feel right now. I don't give a shit. I think once I turn it on, my video game boner is going to come out. I'm like, oh yeah.
You're like, I'm going to sit down and then 2 days later.
I can't wait to put a character together though.
It's going to be great. New episodes every week, every Saturday. I'm going to say Saturday.
Every week.
I think that's it. Thank you, Brandon Carrier.
I'm never going to tell you how to say that.
Carrier.
He's the dance
commander. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. Thank you very much. From us at ScreamFiends, so long and farewell.
This hour's top news story. An informant led officers of the Muerto County Sheriff's Department to a cemetery just outside the small rural Texas community of Newt early this morning. Officers there discovered what appeared to be a grisly work of art, the remains of a badly decomposed body wired to a large monument. A second body was found in a ditch near the perimeter of the cemetery. Subsequent investigation has revealed at least a dozen empty crypts, and it's feared more will turn up as the probe continues. Deputies report that in some instances, only parts of a corpse had been removed. the head, or in some cases the extremities removed, the remainder of the corpse left intact. Evidence indicates the robberies have occurred over a period of time. Sheriff Jesus Maldonado refused to give details in the ghoulish case and said only that he did have strong evidence linking the crime to elements outside the state. Area residents have reportedly converged on the cemetery, fearing the remains of relatives have been removed. No suspects are in custody as the investigation at the scene continues.